So Apple just released the Creator Studio, and this is a really interesting subscription plan offered by Apple now for $13 a month or $130 a year, and it includes all these apps. But what I find really interesting is that a lot of these apps are not Mac only or only on one platform, but how cross-platform the majority is. The exceptions here are Motion, Compressor, and Mainstage. Those are still only Mac apps. But everything else shown here can be on the iPad and the Mac, and a few of them on the iPhone as well. So I want to focus on how Creator Studio is impactful for iPad users first and foremost. I think the biggest thing that it adds is the Pixelmator Pro app. Now, iPad has had Pixelmator for a while now, and if any of you use that, you know it's a significantly dumbed down version of Pixelmator Pro on Mac. But this promises to be an uncompromising iPad version of the app. By that, I mean it's supposed to have no actual limitations when compared to the Mac app. It should be fully functional. The menu bar here is going to be a big part of that. I mean, there's just lots of tools here that you did not have in the previous version of Pixelmator on iPad. And this is the first time Pixelmator Pro has come to the iPad. So that is a little bit of a distinction, but you can still find it. Pixelmator is an app on iPad, at least as of right now. And I can insert from a photo here. I'm going to insert an image I used for a thumbnail recently here. And now you have access to all of the different tools. You can do a shadow. I can switch to the really nice quick or magnetic selection, which is kind of interesting, but my personal favorite has always been the quick select from Pixelmator Pro here. That just kind of lets you select and you can keep adding to it. And it basically looks for similar pixels. So it's not using like really advanced generative AI or anything like that. But you can drag, select a big area like this. And if you got a little sloppy there, you can just change this to subtracting. Boom. And that cleaned it up pretty nicely. Now I can go and duplicate just that selection. So if I turn off the background, I got this wonderfully isolated section here. Yeah, it's got a little bit of that plant in there, but that's okay. But basically what I can do now is go add a shadow. And now it looks like the tablet is floating over the desk. And that was pretty easy to do. Basically, the point is I don't feel like there's anything I could do on the Mac version of Pixelmator that I can't do on the iPad version. Now, I've moved to using Affinity for all my photo editing and thumbnail creation. And right now, Affinity is free. And as Canva is saying, it will be forever free. I guess we'll see how that actually will end up going. But it's free right now. And when they make an iPad version, that will make me probably want to use it over Pixelmator Pro here. But I do think I like this better than the iPad Affinity Photo 2. I'm just not a huge fan of that. I think the redesign they did with the macOS version is such a good redesign. And I like the tools and everything like that more so. And then this is my next favorite editor. I've never gotten used to Photoshop and the Adobe suite, so it's not my preferred method of editing thumbnails and things. I mostly didn't get into it because it's expensive and I didn't want to have that cost there. But this is a fantastic way to not pay a stupid amount of money a year and have lots of creative tools on the iPad as well. Because Final Cut Pro was already $5 a month or $50 a year. Logic Pro was, I think, the same as that. So that's already $100 or right around there at least. So then you combine those two and you get Pixelmator Pro as well. And then you also get some of those upgrades to things like Pages, Numbers, Keynote, Freeform eventually. That's definitely more value money-wise. And all the Pro apps were basically already subscription to the iPad anyway. So for iPad users, we're used to paying that subscription price. So I think this is a really good deal for iPad users. And then if you have a Mac as well, and you do some editing there or some work there, And all those apps also work on the Mac and even more. So you don't have to have a Mac for this to be worthwhile, I don't think. But it definitely makes having both feel really good because you just get all those apps for that same price. And especially if you've never bought Final Cut Pro or Logic Pro on the Mac before, that looks pretty good. Another thing I just really wanted to point out is that all these things are separate apps. The only thing that I think didn't actually say install the new app was Pages, Numbers, Keynote on the iPad. But on the Mac, it definitely was still another app. Like as you see, I only have one Pages installed. There's not two of them because of the two different Pages apps. But for Final Cut Pro, I can go back and search in the App Store, and I guess I can't download it. The iPads must kind of replace the apps once you actually get the Creator Studio, but I did have both the apps on there, and then I foolishly deleted it before making this video, so I couldn't show it to you guys. You guys will have to take my word for it, but they are kind of their own apps. And at least on the Mac App Store, which I'll show a screenshot here, they definitely show up as both separate apps. And I just find that kind of interesting that they're not actually just an update or a subscription within the app. They have a new icon, they have new features, and they are a little different in how they're going to work. I think it's pretty telling because even though they say they're not getting rid of those one-time purchase options on the Mac, when they're their own apps, are they going to be developed in the same way or always get the same updates at the same time? I don't know, because they are not the same app. But if we look at Final Cut Pro, we can see some of these highlights of the new features here: beat detection, transcript search, and visual search, which are going to be really nice to have. I haven't used Final Cut Pro on the iPad in a long time. I moved away from it because there's too many things missing on the iPad version versus the Mac version, and just DaVinci Resolve in general has been my editor of choice as of late. But I have 3 months free of this Creator Studio, so I'm definitely going to give it a try. I'm going to edit this entire video on my iPad on Final Cut Pro for iPad here and see how much has changed and let you guys know. But this is kind of a short video. My thoughts are very all over the place. I honestly feel pretty sick too right now, so that's fun. But I just wanted to get something out here about the Creator Studio, and that I do think it's a positive idea for the iPad platform. And I just really hope that Final Cut Pro and Logic Pro see the treatment that Pixelmator Pro has been given. And that's true feature parity between the Mac and the iPad. Give us presets on Final Cut Pro. Give us everything that Final Cut Pro for Mac can do. You can leave a couple maybe super power user things exclusive, but let's just have all the basics at least. And then this will be a great value. And for students, $3 a month or $30 a year, there's nothing else like that for students. So I think this is a good move overall from Apple. It just definitely worries me about the people who bought it, and I bought Final Cut Pro outright. So I kind of wonder, did I just waste all that money? Is that still going to be updated? Do I have to have a subscription for it to feel worthwhile? And only time is going to tell with that. They say no for now, but we'll see. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and comment down below. And of course, subscribe to the channel. It truly helps us grow and be able to reach more people. And if you enjoy the setup I have here at all, it's all going to be linked in my description down below. And as always, guys, have a great rest of your day.